Perfect. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining on time. Yeah, allow me some more minutes. We're waiting some people to join. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessie Janati. I'm the regional marketing manager. I'm based in Indonesia. So we have our guest star here, Mr. Norman from Anglia Ruskin University. And today's session, we will talk about Cambridge. But Norman, I informed them this is Cambridge, but without pressure. So, recently we successfully sent a student to Anglia Ruskin University for May intake, and it's approaching the deadline. Actually, we still have the great scholarship from Anglia Ruskin University. Later on, Norman will present some unique selling points and the strengths of ARU. We call it Anglia Ruskin University as ARU. I think without further ado, I will over to you, Norman.
Right, thank you so much, Jazzy, for arranging this session. Selamat sore, selamat petang semua. Nama saya Pak Norman dari Malaysia. So a very good afternoon to everyone joining in this webinar. My name is Norman, and I'm the International Recruitment Manager covering the Southeast Asia region, and in particularly to Indonesia. It's one of my favorite country to visit, and hopefully someday we'll be able to meet you in person, right? So without any further ado, my main goal this afternoon is to share why ARU or ARU in short could be one of the universities that your student can consider to attend. And before I talk more about the university, I would like to share with you about our video that will showcase a snapshot of the whole university. So please do enjoy. Right. Apologies, there might be some technical issues, but this is a quick snapshot. It has been fast forwarded due to some technical issues. But just want to share with you, ARU, if you can see very clearly from the video earlier, very fast. I hope you don't miss any of the of the details, but we were the University of the Year in 2023. So I'm going to share more now. So, Anglia Ruskin University was founded in 1858 as Cambridge School of Arts. So, I'm not sure if anyone in the room were born in 1858. If you were, that means you're very old and right. So, 1858, we were there since the early 19th century. So this whole university started as a school of arts by a person called John Ruskin, and that's where our name comes from, right? Anglia is an area, all right, in the England is part of the area, Anglia, and then Ruskin is actually named after our founder, which is John Ruskin. John Ruskin back then was a very strong critic of arts. He believed arts can bring innovation to society and then bring transformation. So we grew together from 1858, as a school of arts. Then we progressed along the way. We built good education department. We train teachers, All right. So arts and education were very strong since the very beginning. And then we developed business courses. And, in the turn of the 20th centuries, we have computer science coming in, engineering, and then health and medicine. So today we offer a wide ranges of courses, over 250 degree courses, right? And in 1992, we were awarded a university status. So we are one of the young modern universities in the UK, located in one of the oldest city in the UK. So I'll explain more later on, okay, on the cities. But just some of our accolades over the years. We were named the University of the Year in 2023 by Times Higher Education. We were awarded Gold in Teaching Excellence Framework. And what does it mean? What does all these accolades translate to your student? This means that this university has the quality. If you look really at the teaching excellence framework, there are three categories: gold, silver, and bronze. So the fact that we were awarded gold, that means we are very high in our teaching quality. There's a very high standard recognized by the industry players. And one thing I would like to highlight to you today, which you can share to your students, is about employability. So we are, the top three universities to send international postgraduate to the workplace. After they have finished the studies, definitely we are one of the top three universities that our international students can able to find a job, not only in the UK but in Europe and the world as well. And for undergraduate, we are the top 15%. Right. So employability is very strong at ARU. We believe that career readiness should be part and parcel of learning. So when your students join us from day one, they are already trained on how, to prepare for the challenge of the future workplace. And in the world ranking, we are always in the top 550. There was one year that we achieved actually 350 in the world, right? So it's up and down. So usually we are in the top 500, top 550. So for a modern university into that sort of level, internationally renowned, I think it means that we have a gold standard, we have a global standard there. And there are three flexible intakes: September, January, and May. Our main intake will be in September. Master's courses, some will be offered in January. For May, intake would usually be business-related courses, selected undergraduate courses also available in May, but majority are business postgraduate courses. So I'll explain a little bit more later on, but I just want to share with you that we have a very strong track record of good quality education, strong employability, and it's recognized by the world industries players. In terms of, you know, research, right, subject areas. So if you look at the statement here, a lot of our allied health profession courses, music, performing arts are, internationally excellent. That means it's very highly ranked and world-leading research as well, especially in our music therapy, which I'm going to share with you. In some market like Philippines or Singapore, there might be very strong interest in this subject. For business law and social work and arts and design, 80% of it is considered internationally recognized, and over 70% of our psychology, neuroscience, communication, media studies courses are also in the world-class level. And as I mentioned, music therapy earlier, so it's actually been awarded by the Queen herself before she passed away. We were awarded the Queen Anniversary Prize for the leading research in music therapy, because our course can actually change lives and help people to improve their standard of living. Okay. Now, of course, I'm not going to bombard you with a lot of information this afternoon, but I just want to share 3 points. The first selling point, which I believe is our location. ARU, we have campuses across 5 different cities. Our main campus, which will be in Cambridge, that's the main Cambridge since the very beginning. But then over the years, we expanded into Chelmsford, Rito, Petersburg, and London. Okay, Rito is our latest campus, which we acquired back in 2024. And Rito used to be one of the leading institutions in animal science researchers. All right, it used to run a diploma or specialized course in animal studies, and 2024 ARU bought it over. So you are investing. I mean, your students are investing in a university that has potential for growth, and we have invested a lot in our facilities, in the employability opportunities for students. So that is why, the growth is a testament of our commitment to help your student to get the best studying experience in the UK. So coming back to the location, we are very near to London. All our campuses are within 1 hour range by train. So regardless your students are studying in Petersburg, you may not heard of Petersburg, right? But the fact that it's very near to London, it means that student can save a bit of money because Petersburg has low cost of living. They not necessarily need to live and study in London, but they could actually find job in London and commute between the two cities. So what I'm trying to say is that our locations are very strategic. We have campuses to cater to different students' budget and to cater to different student needs. Okay, so for instance, if one day you have a students, they are budget conscious, they want to study a bit about business, but they do not really want to spend too much on, the cost of living, perhaps you could consider Petersburg because the accommodation in Petersburg is about £95 to £100. You may be wondering, wow, isn't it true? Petersburg, is it only less than £100? Yes, the answer is yes. So the cost of living in Petersburg, because it's not in London, it's slightly away, so it can be very much reduced. But if let's say you have a student, they want to enjoy city life, they prefer to have a modern, more kind of entertainment lifestyle, perhaps London can be one of their options. So if we look at London, the cost of living can be higher, right? So accommodation easily can go up to £250 to even £350 per week. So we look at different student budget and their interests and their needs, and then we will place them to different campuses. But of course, today I will actually cover Cambridge and Chelmsford because these two campuses are our very, very much unique point. Okay, and I will share with you later on. So the first point, location located down south, near to London, easy to find job and placement and part-time work, and also to commute around fairly easily. Okay, so this is point number one. So let me talk about Cambridge. Cambridge is well known, all right, as a city of knowledge since the 13th century. If you talk about historian, we talk about poet or literature writer, novelist, a lot of them came from Cambridge. A lot of inventor came from Cambridge as well, philosopher, right? So Cambridge historically, right, is a city of knowledge. In the past, many people will travel to Cambridge to seek for knowledge. And if, let's say, today your students are interested to study things about humanities courses or music, performing arts, social sciences, most of these courses are based in our Cambridge campus. And you may know that there's another university in Cambridge, which is world top three university. Okay, the University of Cambridge is just our neighbor. Now, one interesting fact about Anglia Ruskin is, although we are not in the top three in the world, but Anglia Ruskin students can actually access to University of Cambridge Library. You can use the facilities. Sometimes we even have joint events. There'll be research. There'll be some cross-collaborative experience for both university students. So your students, even though they are joining Anglia Ruskin University, they can actually experience the first-hand facilities of University of Cambridge. Wow. You pay a portion of the price. If you go to University of Cambridge, the tuition fee could be easily £50,000, isn't it, per year? But here at ARU, you're only paying a one-fifth or one-fourth of the tuition fee, but you get to enjoy the kind of experience activities between the two universities. So we help each other because Cambridge University, they are very strong in research. We are very strong in teaching. So we help both institutions to kind of build the local community. And Cambridge is, of course, one of the best and top 10 safest cities. If you have had the chance to travel to Cambridge, you actually fall in love with the city because it's not only it looks old or, very classic, but at the same time, you get to experience a different kind of society, right? I would say from my own personal experience, I actually studied in the UK for 4 years up to master's. And when I travel to Cambridge, I find it is a total different sort of environment. Not to say the design is different, though I would say the overall community. Because in Cambridge, there's lots of upper middle class people. They dress nicely, very nicely, well manners. So whenever, international students go to Cambridge, they will definitely feel welcome. And people speak very proper English in Cambridge. So if your students want to improve English, they want to improve their communication skills, definitely Cambridge has a very good opportunity, right? There's so many language schools, English language schools in Cambridge. There's loads of opportunities to meet local people through pubs or even through the local activities like picnic. So I would say Cambridge is definitely the best place to be exact for Indonesian students, to elevate their whole UK studying experience. So if you can see on the upper right-hand corner, that's the punting, right? This is a very specific activities that is held in Cambridge. Perhaps towards the end of my presentation, I will share with you a video about punting. But for now, I will share that in Cambridge campus, we have our mock law court, forensic science, TV studios. So if people want to study about broadcasting, acting, journalism, those kind of courses will be delivered in Cambridge. We have the Mumford Theatre, our own student-run theatre. So every year there will be loads of performance like comedian. Sometimes there'll be act. There'll be a lot of like documentary kind of festival happening in Cambridge. So loads of opportunities for students to not only study in the class, but to actually experience learning outside of their classroom. So we have the Ruskin Gallery. So they will showcase students' work in arts and design. And of course, there will be gym, medical center. So Cambridge campus is nicely located between the train station and the city center. So if you come by train, it's about 10 minutes walk to 15 minutes walk, depending on how fast you walk, right? So 10 to 15 minutes away from the train station and from the Cambridge Anglia Ruskin campus to the city center is another 10 minutes. So if you want to go through the city campus, you have to pass through our campus. All right. So it's in the midway between the train station and the city campus. City center. Now, the next campus that I would like to introduce is Chelmsford. It's actually located in the county of Essex. Comparatively to Cambridge, Chelmsford is relatively young, modern. So there are two different styles. Cambridge, you have exquisite architecture. Chelmsford is young, modern, a lot of lively, vibrant city. So it offers a good combination for both students of different campuses. Now, I'm not sure if you heard of radio. If anyone still know what is radio is in today's world, right? Radio is actually invented in Chelmsford. Okay, so it is the birthplace of radio and it's the first Roman settlement. So back in many centuries ago, when the Roman invades England back at that time, Chelmsford is the entry point. All right, and these Romans settled in Britain and then expanded their influence, right? And today, again, Chelmsford is rated as top 10 cities to live in the UK. It's very safe, very close to London, but again, very affordable. So this gives you a kind of impression. Students, when we think about UK, terlalu jauh lah. So far, so expensive. this may not be true. Okay. So it really depends on how you think, how you perceive, and which cities that you decide. Of course, if you stay in London, definitely the cost will be very high. But Chancellor, Cambridge, if we compare Cambridge, Chancellor is again relatively lower. Okay. So it's very, very nice for students to have a good mix of different campuses. So if students are doing our medicine courses, so in fact, we have our new medicine school. Currently, it's just been considered to launch for international students. However, there'll be quota and limited seats due to the placement, integrated placement in hospitals. So I foresee that this will only open from next or year after, right? Because previously we only offered for British students in our medicine school. But keep updated, all right? I will keep you posted in the near future when it's open to international students. But other than medicine, we have nursing. I know some of you may come from Philippines today. There might be inquiries on nursing. So if your students are doing nursing courses or midwifery or something related to allied health, they are all based in Chelmsford campus. Chelmsford campus is also home to the School of Engineering and also built environment, something like architecture, quantity surveying, and also civil engineering, right? Construction project management. They are all based in our Chelmsford campus. Um, our education course is also based here, though in Cambridge, we are also running the education, but the main education course also run in Chelmsford. So later on, I'll explain which subject is which campus, right? It may be confusing at times, but just generally speaking, Chelmsford is a place for medicine, built environment, some of the engineering courses, and other relevant courses also run in Chelmsford campus. Now, talking about the third campus, retail, as I mentioned, 2024, we bought over 130 years old leading leading college in land-based studies. So for retail campus, we have courses like agriculture, horticulture, animal behavior, veterinary physiotherapy, equine studies, canine studies. So if there's interest of students to do a study of horses, plants, agriculture, dogs, canine therapy, rehabilitation, or animal performance. Retail campus is the leading institution in this area. Last time when I visited Indonesia, we actually have one or two inquiries asking about MBA in agri business. Okay, we have a course MBA in agriculture or agribusiness, right? There's a student asking that. And then also we have a student asking about equine studies. So their family own horses. In Indonesia there's loads of hidden talents and hidden families, right, with certain strong interests. So this particular student asked for equine studies because they own a big farm in Indonesia. All right. So we do offer this kind of very niche courses. Okay. And I will cover the courses in a short while, but I just want to highlight our first point, the location. Each of these campuses are near to London, okay, and very close to one another. Okay, second point, coming to the courses now. So we have four faculties. The prominent one will be arts, education, humanities, and social sciences. Of course, there are many, many courses that we are running, but I just want to highlight some of the popular courses in Southeast Asia, particularly in Indonesia, Philippines, or sometimes Singapore or Malaysia, right? So number one, education. We are top 12 in the UK for education, right? We are strong in MA education. Now, our education courses, there are different specialized routes. MA education in technology, leadership, Montessori, early childhood, and also special needs. So there are different specialized routes for education. Also, illustration. Just now I talked about our music therapy. All right, music is one thing. There's another one called MA Children's Book Illustration. So there were some strong interest from Indonesia when I visited in last time, there were 3 to 5 students asking for children book illustration because we are the first university running this course, all right, children book illustration. And now there are 2 or 3 other universities running it. Okay, but we are very pioneer in this line. So in terms of ranking, children book illustration is very top rank as well for Anglia Ruskin. And Indonesian students seems to have some it's well known among some of the circles, right? If you are in illustration, you may heard about this course from ARU. It's very popular. Another popular course, as I mentioned, would be the music therapy for masters. As I say, it's awarded by the Queen Prizes. Again, there's high entry requirement because there's only 15 places. Okay, so music therapy is not only the fact that you need to have background in music, you need to have interaction with vulnerable adults and children, 50 hours each. Now, our music therapy course is accredited by HCPC, which is the professional body for the allied health courses. So it's not 100% music, it's also therapeutic. So they work together with doctors to help patients to kind of alleviate their pain. Okay, so this is, I think, something that is of a trend in the future because nowadays a lot of people are very stressful, or sometimes when they face some traumatic experience in their life, they need the music element as part of the therapeutic treatment. Okay, but other than the music therapy, we have music performance, music production. So these are all very niche courses, and not many universities are offering these kind of courses. So if any case, if you have some interest in this area, you can think about ARU. We do offer this kind of courses. Another one thing is this September we'll have, I think there's one student who is going to pay deposit soon, not yet. I have one student going for creative writing and publishing from Indonesia. I believe the student was from Bandung. All right, very high potential. Of course, they're looking for scholarship. So I'm going to talk more about scholarship later on. But creative writing and publishing is also a very niche course that I think Indonesian students find interest in ARU. And more recently, a little bit on computer game arts. But when it comes to humanities courses from Indonesia, I would say design, education, music, illustration, and creative writing. Sometimes a little bit of computer game arts, okay? But these are some of the major courses. And most of these courses come with industry engagement. That means they will have the experience to work. Okay, some of the courses come with work experience. Sometimes there will be excursion, there will be guest lecture, things like that. Okay, so this is arts education and humanities and social science. All right. So second faculty will be our business and law. So business and law, like many university, we offer most of the business courses, but I would like to highlight some of the prominent one, like our MBA. Our MBA, they have different routes. We have MBA in digital marketing, MBA in entrepreneurship, MBA in project management with AI. You can see we started to blend in business and AI together. And also we have MBA in healthcare management. All right, so very, very niche area. As I say, why our students have very high employability? Because most of our courses are designed to be niche so that students are able to showcase their skills and talent when they graduate. Okay, but other than that, we have MSc brand management and also something on marketing and accounting and finance. We have a course on fintech, um, banking and fintech and data analytics as well. So again, you can see some what we call amalgamation between business and sciences courses. So if students are doing banking, finance related, they have our Bloomberg Lab access. And Cambridge, particularly to Cambridge, is known as the Silicon Fund. In the US, we call it Silicon Valley. All right, Silicon Valley, that means there's a lot of startups, tech company, innovative company based in the US. But Cambridge, it's called the Silicon Fund. So again, like Silicon Valley in the US, Cambridge itself has a lot of startup tech-based company. So this means that when your students graduate, they have the chance to work as in one of the startup companies, or even they want to start up a company, there'll be a lot of support from the university on how to help them to start up a business. We even have a scheme called the seed funding, right? If they have a business proposal, they can even ask for a funding, and there'll be a group of investors even willing to fund to start up to help them to kickstart their business idea. So there's so much opportunities in Cambridge. It's either through business or other area. Definitely there'll be some interest or opportunities for Indonesian students. And as I say, third faculty will be our science and engineering faculty. So computer science, AI, all right, we have a course on MSc AI, psychology and sports science. Our sports science is also very top in the UK, top 10 to top 12. Okay. If there's some very strong or, certain student very interested in sports, we do offer them as well. And most of these courses are accredited by professional bodies, like mechanical engineering is accredited by IMechE. If they are doing computer networks, it's accredited by Cisco. If they are doing architecture, it's accredited by ARB or REBA accredited as well. So rest assured that all these courses are industrial standard. Okay. And if you can see our psychology lab, we have the EEG. So students really have the facilities to look into the neurosciences area, clinical neurosciences area. Okay. And finally, our health, medicine, and social care. So we have medicine, as I say, for this year, it's currently not open for international, but hopefully in the future, we'll start opening medicine courses to students. But other than that, we have nursing, public health. We have masters of public health. We also have taught masters, MSc in public health and community work. Okay, so there are two different types. One is more on the management side. One is the real public health master, it's an accredited course as well. So if you have a particular queries later on, I hope I can talk more with you on this area. And in terms of world ranking, we are always in the top 300 for world for clinic and health. All right. So health, social care, medicine is quite top for ARU. We have clinical placement, and today we are one of the largest, health provider in the east of England. Okay, so this means that when your student join us, definitely has a very high employability, especially in health, public health area, right? Because we do place them to hospitals if they're doing medicine or nursing. We place them to different hospitals. The students will have a first-hand experience working with patients, etc. Okay, so second point, I've covered some of our niche courses in Indonesia, ranging from arts, business, science, engineering, and health. Okay, so if you have any queries, we can definitely look into the specific course later on. Again, these are some of the summarized master's course, which we usually get inquiries or application. So another one that I forgot to mention is the MBA project management with AI. So this is also very popular. Not only project, okay, they also include the AI element in it. And also clinical nursing and advanced midwifery. So in some countries like Philippines or Indonesian, there are some inquiries on these courses. Okay. Now, some of our master's courses come with 2 years professional experience. You may heard of other university. No, it's called placement, but it's basically the same. So the screen that I'm sharing with you now show the list of courses that come with 2 years professional experience route. That means student can finish this course in 2 year or 1 year. If they go for 2 years, they can actually get some real world experience. Okay. If they go for the professional experience option, they have to pay extra £4,000 for the placement fee. Now, specifically for this 2 years route, right? If let's say you may be wondering, if I go for this 2 years route, and along the way the students is not able to find a placement, what will happen? So the university will cut down. Okay, instead of 2 years visa, they will automatically cut down to 1 year. And I believe the £4,000 will be refundable for particularly only for these 2 years, not for the undergraduate. For undergraduate course, we have 3 or 4 years. Okay, if they go for 4 years, the third year will be the placement year, and the placement fee is £1,700. But for this particular professional experience option, if they are not able to secure the placement, we may consider to refund the £4,000, but they need to have a deadline. Okay, before the certain deadline, if they can't secure a placement, it will automatically cut short to 1 year of the visa. Right. So this is some of the things that I would like to share. And for professional experience, there are three types actually. One is in the campus, so they can find a job within the campus. One is more like a consultancy project, so they don't get any salary. They work as a freelance consultant. And finally, it is a paid placement. So that means they are paid. So there are three types. One is freelance, one is paid, one is on campus, and most of them are paid as well. So when students apply for placement, we have our placement team to guide them. Okay, what to do, how to submit for CV, how to present themselves in front of employers, how to stand out from the crowd, or if they fail their interview, how they could, prepare again, okay, for the whole interview process. Okay, so this is just again our placement. Now, coming to the third and final point, which is our fees and scholarship, the most important point that take away from today's. So our tuition fee range from £17,500 to £19,500. But again, depending on courses, this is just an average. Some courses, like for example, in our London campus can be slightly higher. Some courses in certain campus can be lower. So please check with us or with with Jazzy, and we were able to kind of help identify which campus, which tuition fee. And our MBA course is about £21,200 per year. Okay, so this is the range of tuition fee. Now, just now, Jazzy mentioned about the grade scholarship. Okay, we today is the 28th, so we have 2 more days. Okay, so ARU work with British Council. We come up with the £10,000 scholarship award only for Indonesian student, right? So we will choose one student, and I tell you, it's very competitive now. We have a list of applicants, but it is still open. So if you have any last minute student, you can submit today, all right? Or even tomorrow, because you need to have an offer letter in order to apply for the scholarship. Now, if you ask me, Norman, I have one student that we did not have time to submit or get the offer back in time. Can I still apply for the scholarship? I would say yes. I highly encourage you for your students to apply even before they get the offer, but they need to submit first. All right, they need to have evidence that they are in the process of submission. But even without the offer letter first, I would suggest you to submit for the grade scholarship. The deadline is 30th of April, 12 p.m. UK time. Okay, so we will have a deadline by this Friday, I believe. 30th is it Thursday? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So 30th of April, £10,000 off for masters. Okay. It's only for postgraduate top program. Now, if let's say your students is not able to get the grade scholarship, not to worry. We also offer automatic postgraduate scholarship for Indonesian, £4,000 off in their first year. Woohoo, £4,000. Right? Now, if they come through the undergraduate road, so that means they start from first year, we award them £4,000 in the first year. Second year, we award them £1,000. If they successfully progress to the third year, another £1,000. Okay, so total that will be about £6,000. Now, I've not finished yet. There's another one called early payment discount. Everyone loves discount nowadays, isn't it? So if a student pay the full fee before they enroll, for example, in September, let's say they pay by the end of August, they will be eligible for another £1,000 discount in their first year. So just now I mentioned masters is £4,000. If they pay full fee, that will be £5,000. For undergraduate, again, just now I mentioned the total scholarship is £6,000. If they can pay the full fee in the first year, they'll get another £1,000. So up to £7,000 for undergraduate. For master, it would be £5,000. Interesting. All right, there's one more scholarship. It's known as alumni scholarship. So let's say students finish the bachelor's degree, they want to do a master or postgraduate research. Usually we will offer them a £4,000 scholarship, alumni scholarship. Okay, and if they go for the master, they can pay the full fee. Again, another £1,000 for them. All right. So a lot of generous, attractive scholarship for your students. My key message is can try to apply. The priority will be the great scholarship, £10,000. If you look at the fees, right? Our fees is about £18,000. Minus £10,000, they only pay £8,000 for the 1 year tuition fee, which is very affordable. Now, even with the £5,000 postgraduate scholarship, let's say £18,000 minus £5,000, the total fee is only £13,000 and it's near to London. Okay. I don't know. You can do the research, right? £13,000 or £12,500 for a university near to London, okay? Down south is very, very affordable, okay? Now, just one key note here. Our London-based campus is not eligible, right, for the postgraduate scholarship because London-based is highly subscribed now from other regions. So we cut down the scholarship to £2,000 only for London campus, okay? This is just one extra note to take note. Other campuses will be 4,000 plus £1,000 early payment discount. Okay, so far so good. So I've covered the third point now. So application wise, from Indonesia, we accept SMR, okay, the high school graduation, with average of 75% and above, they can apply directly to year one. Okay, not necessarily need to go through any pathways. We also accept A levels, IB, and also some of the, let's say, if any students go through certain foundation course, we can also consider them on a case by case basis. And for undergraduate course, the requirement for IELTS will be 6.0, 5.5 minimum. For postgraduate, at 6.5, 5.5. Now, if you finish from Indonesia, let's say this this bachelor S1, is it S1 or D4, right? So they can go for a master's if they have 2.5 and above. Okay. I would say Indonesian students are very smart people. Most of the cases that I've mentioned, I've seen, they come with 3.5, 3.4 CGPA, all very good student, all sangat, cerdik, very, very pandai, very smart students from Indonesia. So that is why we ask them to apply for the scholarship. Now you can apply through the Yes Education today, right? So any question you can refer to Jazzy and her team. Definitely, they will help with the application process. And as you know now, it's better if, let's say, you have a system to track. Let's say you submit through Yes, then definitely they will help support your students as well. If, let's say, the decision may sometimes takes more than 1 week or 2 weeks, so Jazzy and the team will be able to follow up very closely with the university. So I would suggest if, let's say, we can kind of merge all applications through Yes Education, then we will manage, the expectation, the offer turnaround in a much more what we call productive, efficient way. Okay. Now, if any question, refer to Jazzy. I'm sure this super lady will answer your question. Okay. Very soon, I'm coming to the end of my presentation, but just want to share with you that we do accept other English tests other than IELTS. So TOEFL, IBT, Pearson, Cambridge, Trinity College Language Cert, Duolingo, and IELCA as well. So a wide ranges of English language proficiency tests that we do accept. And also we have our own internal English test. It's known as English Language Proficiency Test, ELPT. So for ELPT, you can if let's say you have any students who confirm, if they pay a deposit, they want to do a test, feel free to reach out. Usually I need to be there to conduct a face-to-face test session. All right. So if you have any question about that, please contact Jazzy. Coming to the accommodation, but one thing before accommodation is that we do also offer pre-sessional English. Although Indonesia market, there's not much demand for pre-sessional because your students' English level are superb. But just in case, we have online and offline pre-sessional. Online pre-sessionals are 6 weeks and 10 weeks. Offlines are 12, 18. There's another one. Sorry, I can't remember. So 12, 16, and 20, 18, 20, sorry. So when you have student applying for online pre-sessional, please do get in touch. We will then advise like which duration of online pre-sessional that they should go for. Okay. Now, when it comes to accommodation, as I mentioned earlier on, Cambridge, Chelmsford, again, the prices range from about £150 as an average for Cambridge. If they go for London, it's 250 and above. For Petersburg, £100 to 150. So again, depending on cities, depending on campuses, we have accommodation that catered to different needs. So if let's say your students are budget conscious, they don't mind to live slightly far away, then we can talk about it. We can help students to kind of identify which accommodation we can recommend to. I had one student from May. Just now Jesse mentioned there's a May student, right? So he asked me this question. There's a place outside of Cambridge which is £750 per week. So this particular student asked me, what do you think about this accommodation? I said with 750, definitely is luxury, right? It's hotel level. It's definitely good. So if you have the budget, you can go for those kind of level accommodation. But I would say generally speaking, it's about 150 per week in Cambridge. For London and Petersburg, we do not have our own accommodation. Cambridge, Chancellor, and Ritter, we have our own campus accommodation. So you can apply through the university website, or you can also apply for private sectors, and there'll be like landed houses or private service apartment available as well. If you book through the university website, accommodation website, all first year international students will have a booking priority and definitely usually guarantee for international student in the first year. Okay, because we do understand it's the first time student coming abroad. They may feel nervous, so we have this assurance for your students. And at Anglia Ruskin University, we have 180 students, nationalities. Of course, Indonesian, we do have some, though it's not a big number, but we have a community as well. But other than Indonesian, we have students coming from Thailand, Vietnam, Southeast Asia-wise, our students mainly come from Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia. Okay. These are some of the main Southeast Asian students. So definitely your students will have friends. It may not particularly from Indonesia when come to the course, but you will have people coming from this region, or if not, there'll be people from China or Middle East and also Pakistan, in India, other region as well. So your students are stepping up. They are not only meeting the local, which is the majority, but at the same time, we have an international student support available. Like we have the chaplaincy and multi-faith space if they want to talk about faith, if they want to talk to somebody about counseling, we do have dedicated staff for them, to guide them and to help them transition into life into the UK. We also have free in-sessional English course, just in case if your students struggle with English, we have free English class available for students. Okay, and we have free airport pickup. If let's say your students are traveling to Cambridge, if it's their first time, we have international airport pickup at London Heathrow. But Heathrow to Cambridge is not that far, and the nearer one will be Stansted, London Stansted Airport, right? So it's even nearer. So if your students feel that they want to travel themselves, that is fine as well. But we have airport pickup, we have Crafton Society. There's something called Global Week where students can showcase their culture, language, and people to students from all around the world. So we have very good student experience. Okay. So I've come to the end of my presentation. I'm aware that, I've about 10 more minutes left, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So let me just quickly recap today's sharing. Number one, location. We are very near to London, less than 1 hour. It's easy to find job, placement, and part-time job. Okay. By the way, part-time job is about 12 to 15 pounds per hour, and they're allowed to work 20 hours during term time and 40 hours during summertime. So location-wise, strategically located, they can travel across the UK, travel to Europe from London very easily. Second point, we offer very niche courses. All right, just I mentioned some of the courses that leads to high employability because we train students to be specialists in their area, and that is why they can get a good job after they've graduated. And number three, we have a very attractive scholarship and also funding available. So if let's say your students are interested to apply for the grade scholarship, the deadline is 30th of April. If they miss the grade scholarship, not to worry, we still have our postgraduate scholarship, which is up to £5,000. Okay, and if you scan this QR code, it will link you to a page called Experience ARU. So maybe I will share. I mean, this is just for your information. If let's say you are interested, sometimes you may be what we call you may be counseling student. So if you can see my screen here, this is one page that will have information about subject, updates for you. If you are unsure about the entry requirements, okay, you can go to the information and there'll be some tips by our admission staff on how to prepare your students' admission process. There'll be the most important thing I'll feel is you need to, if possible, come to this page and there'll be dedicated linking point for you to find the information. But of course, if you are unsure who to contact, always contact Jazzy, all right? Because I work very closely with Jazzy and I'm very quick. Hopefully, if you have any question in midnight, hopefully not. But then if you have any urgent question, Jazzy can kind of like direct your question very quickly. And if she cannot answer, definitely she'll come to me and I'll help her with the question as well. Okay. So this is the page that I would like to share with you. And finally, I mentioned about the punting. So I'm to end my presentation today, I would just want to share with you how Cambridge is a world-class city with a best environment, and definitely you have the best experience for your students. So please enjoy this short video. Now, this video is not done by our university, but it's just to give you an experience of how Cambridge looks like.
This tour is different from the others in the city because I tailor my tours based on age, interest. There are a few different options you can do as a customer. You can either have a shared tour where you will be joining other customers who are interested in the history and the architecture that Cambridge and the university has to offer, or you can have a private tour where it is just yourself. You get the tour tailored to exactly what you want. Or you can take your own punt. We'll do a brief lesson on how to do punting, and then we send you out and you get to enjoy the river at your own leisure. They can expect history, culture, architecture, but most importantly, cracking dad jokes from all of the punters.
All right, so that is the kind of a video about Cambridge. So that the action is called punting. So if one day you are in Cambridge, I would recommend you to try the punting experience. Definitely your student will able to interact with people. They can enjoy afternoon tea, in front of the river, and you will see units of Cambridge just beside you. It's a fantastic experience. So with that, thank you so much, guys, for your attention, and I'm happy to have Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Norman. We already have
Problem.
some questions here,
Sure.
mostly for medicine school. The first one, is there
Okay.
any pre-test to enter for medicine school? And after studying
Okay.
medicine, could international student work there as a doctor?
Okay. Well, a lot of questions on medicine.
Yeah.
Okay, for medicine, of course, there will be some prerequisite. For example, they need to be interviewed, so not necessarily a test. Uh, And for medicine, usually we don't look at SMA or high school qualification. Okay. So because the medicine requirement is very high and they will look at A-level result, and usually you need to you have subject like biology, math, and advanced math, things like that. So AAB minimum, so very high entry requirement. But just let me reiterate that our medicine courses currently is not open to international. So perhaps in the future we'll have more details. But to answer your question, international student definitely, if let's say they finish their medicine degree, they can apply for a job. All right, convert the student visa to a work visa, then they could work as a doctor. Um, Terms and condition, I would say, number one, you need to pass through the medicine degree. Number two, you need to have very strong IELTS as well. So the minimum IELTS requirement is 7.0 minimum for every band. Okay, so it has a very high requirement. For nursing as well, definitely nursing is similar like doctors. Tests after study. So usually, okay, for doctor, nurses, all these allied health courses on medicine courses, definitely you need to have the license to practice, not only a degree, right? So definitely looking at, in the UK, that will be under the NHS. There'll be certain license that the students need to do before they are able to work in a hospital. And one more thing I forgot to mention is if you are doing allied health courses, medicine, you need to apply for DBS check. It's something like a criminal background check before students are able to work with vulnerable adults. So all this will be shared with you when you have a student. We'll guide you like what sort of documents to prepare, how to apply for DBS when student arrives. So there'll be extra check and also interview process for allied health courses and medicine students. The second question, could internet already studied nursing, studied medicine? Uh, um, okay, there in the UK, there's something called the progression rules. So for undergraduate, you can only study up to 5 years, unless the next degree courses you can clearly shows a progression. So what do I mean? For example, if let's say in your first degree you do medicine, then maybe a student want to do a second bachelor degree. Okay, so you need to have what we call a new subject area if they want to study a master, right? For, let's say a business, then progression rules will count. But if let's say for 5 years, you will use up the 5 years rules anyway, so I don't think a student would have the chance to study another bachelor's degree because under the UKVI 5-year rules, for bachelor's degree, at most you can only study up to 5 years. Okay, I would suggest maybe the student can consider to do a master's course after they finish a bachelor degree. Okay, so that's the first person question. Yeah. Jazzy, do you need me to answer all the question or?
Yeah, because they are all different questions. The second one for law, could international student take part test there?
Okay. Okay, so we have LLB course, and definitely once student finish the LLB, which is 3 years, they can do a bar BPTC in the UK. Now, BPTC not necessarily from the university. You can do a BPTC course or certification outside from the university. So basically, you can work part time and then work towards your BPTC, and at the end, you can practice, law or as a lawyer in the UK. But definitely, you need BPTC. Before you can practice as a lawyer. Okay. And psychology, is there a clinical or non-clinical psychology? Definitely, we have both. So we have Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, but when it comes to master's level, we have a conversion course for MSc Psychology. We also have a specific clinical routes, clinical neuroscience, if I'm not mistaken. So we do have clinical and non-clinical psychology courses available. But then if you go for the clinical psychology, you need to have the first degree in bachelor's in psychology. You must have. So if you do not have a psychology background, you cannot go to the clinical route. Does it make sense? Okay. And the following question, any update for graduate routes visa? What is DOR STD?
For student, I think that
For
was
student.
typo.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Graduate route. So as of now, that will be 18 months. It used to be 24 months, but the government has now cut down to 18 months for what we call graduate immigration graduates routes. So once they finish the study in the UK, they can potentially stay on for another 18 months in the UK until they find a permanent job. Then they can convert it to the tier 2 work visa. Okay. Are there no scholarship available for Philippines as you show? Okay. Definitely, of course, we also offer scholarship for Philippine students. So the one that I mentioned just now is basically open for Southeast Asia students. So Indonesia, Philippines students are eligible. Now, bear in mind, this scholarship is only been updated this year. So in the past, if let's say you submitted to ARU before, they only have £2,000 and £4,000, and student needs to apply for the scholarship. But since I joined Anglia Ruskin, I told our university that if you want to encourage or want to have more students from Southeast Asia, you should do all £4,000 straight to all students. Okay, so that's where we have agreed with the management. So yes, Philippines students are also available for £4,000 plus the early full payment tuition fee discount. Okay, hopefully I've answered those questions. Jazzy, did I answer the questions? Are you satisfied with the answers?
Yeah, I believe so, Norman. Yeah,
Okay,
unfortunately, we already reached our timeline for today's session. Guys, I know that you have still a lot of questions, but feel free to reach me out later. Thank you, Norman, for the presentation. Could you please send to me later so I can share
sure,
to our agent partners? Yeah,
sure.
just to remind that we still have 2 more days for the great scholarship from Indonesian applicants. And yeah, for like partial scholarship from the university, everyone can still apply. And do let me know if you have any prospective students for September intake. Thank you so much,
Yes.
everyone, for joining.
Thank you, guys, and look forward to welcoming your students to ARU. And yes, great scholarship. Apply and let me know the student name so that I can keep track and I can push for you. Okay. All right. Thank you,
All right,
guys. Take
then.
care.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jazzy.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.